The school year has just ended for most New Mexico students, and summer break has just started, but that break will be over more quickly for thousands of New Mexico students. The state signed off on $62 million for extended learning time, which adds 10 days to the start of the school year for participating elementary, middle, and high schools. Another program, the K-5 Plus program, will lengthen the elementary school year by 5 weeks at participating schools. The legislature set aside about $120 million for K-5 Plus, although that is to be spread out over more than just one summer. But making the deadlines for funding and getting the buy-in from teachers and parents especially has proven to be a challenge. For example, APS applied for extended learning time funding at more than 100 schools, but just 8 are able to offer it campus-wide. And Serge, interesting numbers there. We'll get into some of the nuances of what might be happening here, but in general sense of things, is this the right approach as you're seeing it? There was some chatter that it's going to be aggressive. Schools are going to have trouble getting in. We've got 8 out of, so far. Right. Good sign, bad sign, a good start. What do you think?
3 of those 8 schools were already doing it, I think.
That's right.
So it's not, we're not really adding a bunch of, I think it's, well, it's clearly just being rushed, right, based on when the end of the session was and whatnot. But I am skeptical, about the evidence, about the effect that this will have, right. How much parents and families want this and what it actually will do.
Let me back you up there.
Yeah.
You're skeptical about the evidence of starting some early learning programs? You're not convinced by some of the studies that show this is...
I know, there's the summer slide in learning, yep. And additional instruction. I'm reluctant to say it's a bad thing, right?
Okay.
But, we've got the budget allocated lots of money for lots of different things. There is very clear evidence out there that good teachers in low-performing schools can make a big difference, right? More so than I think we've seen for, a little bit of added learning, or extended school years. We have, a lot of money has been allocated for our community schools program, which has shown really dramatic results for the individual students, for their families, which has, a ripple effect in terms of how well a student can learn when they're not being evicted and being displaced, when they're able to eat properly.
That's right.
Right? So I think we have all this money that we've allocated. I love it. That's fantastic. It's a great first step. Right. Making sure we use it in a way that, is empirically sound and evidence-based is I think more important than saying, we just got this money, we better hurry and do something quickly.
Right.
And being aggressive and moving quickly is not, a substitute for doing
That's
it.
a very good point there.
With all deliberate speed.
Right. Tom, I'm so curious to ask you this question. I mentioned in April, APS took a poll. 75% of parents said thumbs down on the idea of extended learning. Are you surprised by that? I'm personally not surprised. You think about households and how they work, and you'd want to be able to kind of plan out. But is that part of the problem here with rolling this out? You get so much pushback from parents.
Well, parents are really a key part of the whole educational experience.
Yeah.
It would be interesting. I'm not as familiar with that particular survey, but I'd be interested to see which school districts, and if they're the ones needing, the more rigorous intervention schools, I would be interested in their responses more than responses in, like the La Cueva district or El Dorado or Sandia, where you have family structures are a bit more based on doing things during the summer. It's a lot more scheduled. But when you look at the progress or the process of the extended school year, it was first introduced when Howie Morales was the lieutenant governor and was dubbed the education czar. And he said, okay, great. Well, we're going to go ahead and propose extended learning or additional school days onto the year. Right. And everybody's like going, wait, you don't even have a PED secretary yet. Right. You don't even have a plan to do this. Well, fast forward, they do have a plan now, and I think it's a good plan. And it's being very well received by certain school districts like APS. They have the schools, as Serge had mentioned, that are already on board. The timing of all this is very difficult because in March is when a lot of schools put together their budget for the upcoming school year. So there was, a lot, APS, I think, from the school board members that I've talked to, anticipate that they're going to see a larger increase of schools participating in the program.
Right.
However, if you go up to Santa Fe, Veronica Garcia over at Santa Fe Public Schools is not as rosy on her outlook on this because the teachers aren't on board.
Right.
So, it really depends where it's playing, and it'll be interesting to see how it really plays out over the next school year.
Interesting survey. I'm still on this idea of what Tom was mentioning, but also parent pushback. That would be hard, it would seem to me, for a superintendent to ignore. that if 75% of the parents in, let's assuming one of those districts, you can't quite get around that. You'd have to really start some kind of literally an education process for those parents.
But I agree with Tom on this. I think there is a question in my mind about which parents were asked, which school districts were their kids in. And sort of what are the reasons behind saying that they don't like this? And if they're asking parents whose kids will never actually participate in this, it's kind of like, well, you got your wish.
It's a good point.
So I'm less concerned, I think, about those numbers than I am just in how it's going to be implemented, and I think the impact on the teachers is going to be really important. That they need to track that. One of the things that is at least somewhat encouraging is that what's supposed to be built in is an additional professional development component for teachers to give them, it's hoped, more tools, maybe a little bit more breathing room in the school year to make sure that they're able to get what they need.
Interesting point. Rachel, is this simply the question, that we talked about this at this table, that there's going to be a learning curve, right? Money's come in, ideas have come in, someone has to implement this. It's not going to be smooth. Maybe we should just all relax here a little bit and back up and let this thing work out this year. Is that your sense of it as well? There's a possible thought of that as well. Just chill out, just let it do its thing,
Well, some points for trying something, right? Because obviously our education system really needs some help. I'm just thinking of the teachers who are going to be trying to hold students' attention on July 29th, or whatever it is. I hope they have some real hands-on learning planned.
Right.
It's going to be a challenge.
It will be, and Serge, part of that, I'm thinking about Mimi Stewart, who was a big driver of this, and the thought was, you have to have teachers follow the kids into the school year. It can't be just a sub in the summer, then the real teacher shows up on the first day of school. You're a teacher. Does that make logical sense to you in your gut? Does that help a child when you have that kind of continuity?
I mean, absolutely. The more time I spend with a student, the better I know them, the better I can be supportive and figure out what they actually need. But I'm also sympathetic to, there comes a day when you're like, okay, I've had enough. Or, I need to take some time away from this student, this class, or this thing. I'm sympathetic to the teachers as well.
Right. They're being paid. I mean, that's no small thing.
Right. And they're not being paid nearly enough, even with any additional funds. And it's still a really, really hard job that they're doing. And, saying you're being paid for what you're doing it's important, it's great, and for many of the teachers that's probably going to be more valuable than having the time to get away and rejuvenate. For many, probably not so much.
That's right. Tom, when you think about the other program that's out there, the K5 Plus, we talked about that at this table previously, that's the 5-week program for kindergarten through 5th grade. Is summer going to be just a reality for us here in New Mexico? Summer learning. Is there a trend showing itself here that in our quest to catch up on education, is this a component that we'll have to get used to here?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a big advocate of year-long learning anyway, not year-round school, but year-round learning. And I think that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is how are you empowering parents, grandparents, families, where you don't have a traditional family structure to be successful in the school environment.
That's right.
And that's another element of it, which I haven't really seen yet. I'm sure it's coming, but you can have all the programs like K5 Plus, MRI, EIEIO, but it really comes down to how are you providing that support to extend that learning experience at the home, so that way the teacher isn't having to start from ground zero each day, each week, each school year.
Sophie, one of the last questions I have here, which something that caught my eye, in that somebody mentioned that in low-income areas, enrichment programs are very much lacking. That tends to be something for more well-off communities.
Something that we see is that more well-off communities are able to fundraise to keep the programs that they want to keep. So they're fundraising around band, they're fundraising around the arts in general, they're fundraising around science, and all of the enrichment that schools can offer, and less well-off communities have a lot less opportunity for that sort of thing. And so when we say, oh, we've got to focus on the reading, writing, arithmetic parts, and over the past couple of decades, there's been a de-emphasis on what we actually know is really important, which is engagement in the arts and in sports and physical activity and all of that sort of stuff. If only better off school districts and better off families can afford those things, then we're just reinforcing the same learning learning
right.
challenges that we've seen
That's
before.
right. Rachel, I'm curious your thought about the business community and this idea of reforms. Again, the business community has been very clear for a number of years. Let's try something. We need to do something. Just put something in motion. General agreement here from your sense of it at the business community that at least we're kind of getting down the road with something.
Absolutely that the business community is hungry for solutions, whether they would look at this and say, oh, this is headed in the right direction.
Right.
I would say they want to see something bigger than 10 more days on the school year.
Oh, interesting.
Just real curriculum change and things that really prepare people to be part of the workforce and move forward.
You know, at some point, I would love to sit down with a table of business people and talk about that very thing you just talked about right there.
Absolutely.
That would be interesting. So that's a wrap for this week's Line Panel. You can catch our One More Thing segment online on YouTube and Facebook. Just search New Mexico in Focus.